Shane McGregor. I am a student athlete. I'm a journalism major and an English major, and I'm also a quarterback on the football team.
Well, football. Actually, Shane has been attending athletic events since he was in the womb. Shane's dad worked for the Georgia Tech Athletic Association, and we went to all the football games there, all the basketball games. So even then when Shane was born, we continued to do that. He started playing football when he was, I think, in the 5th grade for Holy Name Grade School here in Evansburg, Pennsylvania.
Well, I didn't meet him on a football field. I met him on a basketball court, and I think he was in 8th or 9th grade, and I was playing defense on him, and he tried to run over me, so I liked him immediately.
I didn't mind him playing. I mean, he always was very athletic. You worry a little because it is a dangerous sport. Yeah, I enjoyed watching him play, and he was very devoted to his athletics.
We did well enough we got down to the final game, and on the line was a trip to Disney World, to play in the national championships, for this flag football. And but one of the things that ESPN, who was sponsoring the event, had set up was where you could, have a cover made of you. You could stand in front of a green screen, and then they made this. And we ended up actually losing that final game because the imaginary line of scrimmage, it was the one ref called that I was a foot over it when I threw the game-winning touchdown. When I was running, escaped from the pocket and threw it to my friend. So that was heartbreaking, but I came away with a great experience from the whole thing and a cool reminder that, you never know what can happen, and maybe one day I'll actually have a real cover of this, to go with my fake one from here.
I don't think we've ever had a kid who was as intelligent as Shane, who was as driven as Shane, and focused for a high school kid.
I couldn't even tell you what I envisioned. I always had dreamed to be, a Division I. I wanted to be a big-time college quarterback. That's what I wanted to be since I was 8 years old. But for a while, I never thought that was going to happen. Like I said, I was good in high school, but I wasn't awesome. I wasn't. My team wasn't great, and I myself didn't have great stats or, great physical gifts or anything like that. But so it looked doubtful for a while that I would ever be able to get that dream. But through some pretty interesting events, I ended up getting a chance to walk on here. And it was almost surreal at first to think yeah, you're really getting that opportunity, but I did. And so even then I kind of I didn't initially accept the offer. I don't know if I was a little just kind of not shocked or a little scared even of the challenge, but I knew I was going to have to come here. I couldn't pass it up, and I'm really glad that I did. So.
I did imagine him playing football in college. I never imagined for Penn State. But I knew he really wanted to continue with his athletics when he graduated from high school. So, we looked into so many different schools, and he applied lots of different places, and I was looked at by a number of different schools. But when Penn State called, we were very excited to go up there and visit.
I thought about going to a Division III school where I probably could have started maybe my freshman year and played for a while, and then done very well, had 4 great years being a starting quarterback. Or I could have gone Division 1 AA, maybe not started my first year, but had been in contention, and then maybe started my second year, have a lot of more playing time there. Or I could go somewhere like here, and I might not even stay on the team for 4 years. You never know. It's just, you never know how life's going to turn out. But I kind of pictured myself as a big fish in a little pond, but I knew that's what I didn't really want to do. I wanted to be a big fish in a big pond, and I knew it was going to be hard. Obviously, I'm not out there. I'm realistic as well. But I love having that dream to strive for, and so once I got the chance to go to that big pond, I was time to make myself a big fish. Then I guess too. Yeah. What's funny is that I didn't tell anyone for a while that I was even coming here. Because I didn't think anyone would believe me. Actually, like I said, I was good in high school, but I wasn't somebody that, if you would have said my name and Penn State in the same sentence, nobody would have said, oh yeah, I could see that, I would expect that. So I kind of just kept it quiet to myself. So it was probably a good month or 6 weeks after I got the offer from Penn State before I actually came out and told anyone outside of my closest family or friends, yeah, I think I'm going to Penn State, to play football. And even when I did, I got some eyebrow raises and some really, and some, you're kidding, right? But but that's what you do anytime you go on a quest that, you know, might seem illogical, like a big thing. Try to do a big thing.
I honestly never imagined that. I mean, as his mother, I believed he always could do it because I knew he had the determination and the persistence and the work ethic. And he had done very well in high school football. His team had performed well and won lots of games, and he was a very good leader as the quarterback on the team. But yeah, I never really thought that whole situation would ever present itself for him, but it did, and it's really been wonderful.
And the whole Thursday night football crew is what we call it, started when Shane was a sophomore in high school, and he and a couple of the teammates came over here one Thursday, and then it led to another Thursday, and before you know it, there were more kids, and Shane and those guys went off to college, and we're still doing it today. Well, when the season starts, we'll start it up again. There are a couple moments in Shane's career that I probably won't ever forget. The first one was when he was a sophomore. He saw some varsity time. I believe he started half the football games. We had two quarterbacks that year. One was a senior. Shane was much better than the other guy, but the other guy had some experience. And we were playing Johnstown High School, who is a AAA school, so they're bigger than we are. We're AA. And they absolutely punished Shane. You couldn't hit Shane harder if you tried. I mean, our offensive linemen didn't block, our running backs didn't block, and he just kept getting up play after play after play. Shane never gives up. He's won the game mentally. He just has to go out there and play it.
You know, like I spent like the first 3 years of my career here in relative anonymity. You know, like there was one time I was in like the little convenience store in the hub, and like just somebody was talking about I think it was like the Illinois game, like my freshman year, you know, and like we just struck up a conversation, and somebody said, "Oh, did you go to the game?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." He said, "That was a great game." So we like had a little conversation about the game whenever, you know, I was actually a player, and he had no idea, you know. So like that kind of summed up my first 3 years here. I got in the first game was the first game of the year that I got in. I don't even know how many plays I played, but that was my first time in 3 years of eligibility getting in. You know, so that was a big milestone. You know, it had to happen sometime. You know, but in a way, when you get that taste, you want more. You know, so it kind of fueled my desire to be like, okay, I feel like I know what this feels like now, and I know it's good. You know, and I know that this is what I want to be chasing after. So with that in mind, I kind of really try to even step up my game even more as far as like getting ready for that time whenever you know somebody says, "Hey Shane, you're in," and it's not in the fourth quarter of a blowout win. You know, it might be when the game's on the line or you know, at the start of a game. You know, and for that, if that would happen, you want to be ready. So
I believe Shane's exceeded my expectations because truthfully, I didn't think he could play there at all. I thought he'd be a great Division III player. He had some offers from Carnegie Mellon and some other really high academic schools where he could play college football and play 44 games, you know, start every game his whole career, or he could go Division II and play. There's some 1AA schools in the area that he could have probably played at, St. Francis, Robert Morris. When he chose Penn State, I thought it was going to be an uphill battle for him. I didn't discourage him. I've been there for him, but we've talked many nights on the phone, you know, getting through some rough times, because when you're the starter in high school and then you go to college and your name is Hey You, you know, you're not Shane or Shane McGregor, you're Hey Kid, come here, or Hey You. That's tough for any kid. Now, of course, Shane is not any kid, and he took it as a challenge. And I remember whenever Coach Paterno yelled at him at practice and used his name, and I got a phone call. You know, he knows who I am now.
Well, I was so excited when he got in the game earlier in the season and scored a touchdown, and that was wonderful. And I kept hoping that he'd get a chance to get in again. You know, keep hoping and praying. And it didn't happen, but that's okay. You know, he's still, you know, working hard and hoping he does get in the fall. So.
Well, I think he's got probably 11 or 12 more games left in him, one more bowl game. And if given the chance, I'm sure that he'll do a great job. I don't know if he's going to get a chance. He may be a career backup, which is a great accomplishment at a Division I school, Big Ten. He'll have played in 5 bowl games. I mean, that's more than any high school kid could really wish for, unless they're a freak of nature, which Shane is not.
I don't know, and I think that's the cool thing about it. I have faith that what's supposed to happen is going to happen, and when those doors need to be opened, they will be. I know what I want to do. I want to take football as far as I can. I want to write. Like I love writing. I have several book ideas that I'm working on right now, and I could see myself writing for a number of different publications or something like that. And I could see myself doing several other different professions. But right now I'm not sure, and I think that I don't need that and make that decision yet. There's still, I feel like there's still a lot to be, to unfold in this next year. A lot that could affect my life and change the direction where it's going. So until then, I just, take the attitude that I've tried to take the last however many days and months and years, which is just bring your best with everything you do every day and keep your faith in God. And then things do work out. I have a sneaky suspicion that they do. So.